40 days after a brutal 12-day war with Israel, Iran's elite Revolutionary Guards remain leaderless in key posts. Top commanders killed in precision strikes. Succession plans in chaos. From vanished naval chiefs to vacant intelligence desks, the cracks are widening. Tehran scrambles to project strength, but the leadership void is growing. And its enemies are watching for the next strike. The Iranian military establishment is navigating one of the most acute leadership crises in its recent history, still reeling from the aftermath of a devastating 12-day conflict with Israel that effectively decapitated segments of its senior command structure. Now, more than 40 days since the war's conclusion, essential positions within Iran's military, particularly among the elite Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, remain conspicuously unfilled. This prolonged vacuum has cast doubt over the Islamic Republic's operational readiness and internal coherence at a time of regional volatility and international scrutiny. The Israeli offensive, unfolding over less than 2 weeks, was marked by unprecedented precision. Within hours, multiple senior figures were eliminated, including Mohammad Bagheri, previously Chief of Staff of Iran's Armed Forces, Hossein Salami, Commander-in-Chief of the IRGC, and Gholam Ali Rashid, head of the strategically vital Qatam al-Anbiya Central Headquarters. These strikes, targeting both residences and what was thought to be a secure command bunker, left no ambiguity about Israel's intent or capabilities. Particularly chilling was the manner in which some commanders died, reportedly lured to a location by a cyber-generated fake emergency message. Tehran has neither confirmed nor denied this account, but insiders suggest that Israel's use of cyber warfare to manufacture confusion has forced an urgent reassessment of security protocols within Iranian military communications. In the days immediately following the attacks, the Iranian leadership acted swiftly, at least on the surface, to replace its fallen commanders. State media reported the elevation of Abdul Rahim Mousavi, an experienced officer, to Chief of Staff of Iran's armed forces. Simultaneously, Mohammad Pakpour was named Commander-in-Chief of the IRGC, and Ali Shadmani was put in charge of Qatam al-Anbiya, reflecting a superficial semblance of stability. That illusion was fleeting. Within just 5 days, Shadmani himself was killed, reportedly during a dramatic high-speed chase by an Israeli hit squad. His daughter later described the episode as a brazen daylight assassination, casting further doubt on the regime's ability to protect even those who step into the breach. The government's principal mouthpiece, the Daily Kayhan, wrote that another commander had already been appointed to replace Shadmani, but withheld the name for security reasons, a report left unconfirmed by officials, contributing to a fog of uncertainty. As the days turned into weeks, it became clear that the initial round of rapid-fire appointments masked deep systemic strains. A new review by Iran International reveals that a series of critical positions are still vacant. Notably, there has been no official replacement for the Armed Forces Deputy for Operations, a role previously held by Mehdi Rabbani. Similarly, the powerful Deputy for Intelligence post, formerly under Gholam Reza Mehrabi, remains leaderless. The IRGC Aerospace Force, which oversees Iran's growing fleet of drones and ballistic missiles, is also operating without a formally named chief for its intelligence arm after the death of Khosrow Hassani. Crucially, these are not isolated gaps. Several regional and operational intelligence commands, a linchpin in Iran's ability to coordinate across geographies and external fronts, are also without permanent leadership. Overall, more than half of the roughly 30 senior IRGC officers killed in June have yet to be replaced, either officially or in practice. The ramifications extend beyond Iran's borders. The attacks also targeted the IRGC's Quds Force, the elite unit tasked with foreign operations and regional influence campaigns. Among those killed were Mohammad Saeed Izzadi, principal overseer of Iranian activities in Palestine, and Mohammad Reza Nasir-Baghban, deputy for intelligence in the Quds Force. As of now, Tehran has offered no names as successors, an unusual admission of incapacity from a regime oft lauded for its ability to regenerate its leadership ranks in the face of adversity. Perhaps the most conspicuous absence is that of IRGC Navy Chief Alireza Tangsiri, who has been missing from public view for nearly 2 months. During the 75 days leading up to the war, Tangsiri was a constant fixture in state media, delivering over 20 official interviews and repeatedly threatening retaliation against the US and Israel. Since the onset of hostilities, his voice has vanished. Not a single public appearance, statement, or interview has materialized. The military tried to paper over the void, publishing a written statement under his name on August 8th, timed to coincide with National Journalists' Day. However, well-placed sources have quietly suggested Tangsiri has been incapacitated by cancer, his health deteriorating rapidly, a fact that, if true, has left Iran's naval operations dangerously decentralized at a time of increasing maritime friction with Western forces in the Persian Gulf. The long-standing absence of the Navy chief, together with persistent vacancies in naval command posts, risks debilitating Iran's ability to respond to crises at sea and undermines internal cohesion within the ranks. Conscious of the structural risks, the regime has attempted an institutional fix by creating a new defense council. This body includes representatives from the regular army, the IRGC, the intelligence ministry, and the general staff, and is chaired by the president. Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei's envoys, Ali Shamkhani and Ali Akbar Ahmadian, are also members in a sign of the urgency and gravity with which the supreme leadership views the situation. The Council's task is to bridge the widening gaps in operational coordination and to stem the drift towards fragmentation. Yet, despite the attempted centralisation, the continuing lack of permanent leaders in vital posts, operations, intelligence, the Quds Force, and most notably the Navy, leaves the system exposed. The Council's temporary top-down remedies cannot make up for the intricate, interpersonal networks of command and trust that typically underpin military efficacy. The Revolutionary Guards in particular have historically relied less on formal hierarchy and more on long-standing personal relationships forged over decades of ideological and military struggle. The present crisis has eviscerated much of this connective tissue. While the IRGC has in the past weathered personnel losses, most notably during the early years of the Iran-Iraq War and after the US killing of Quds Force leader Qasem Soleimani, the sheer scale of the current decapitation strike is unprecedented. The assassinations, especially those that penetrated Iranian defences using cyber trickery and inside information, have cast a long shadow. Morale within the officer corps has reportedly sunk, with a sense of deep vulnerability permeating the institution. Internationally, Iran has been forced onto the back foot. With several Quds Force and intelligence leaders gone, the regime has struggled to coordinate regional proxy campaigns, a cornerstone of Iranian foreign policy spanning Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Gaza. There are reports that meetings with regional allies have been postponed or conducted in roundabout ways, with lesser-known deputies stepping in as placeholders rather than empowered decision-makers. At home, the regime's inability to speedily fill vacancies raises uncomfortable questions about succession planning. Are there simply too few figures trusted enough or experienced enough to be vaulted into the top echelons? Some analysts suggest that purges and forced retirements in recent years have thinned the ranks of senior officers loyal and capable enough to inherit the mantle. Whether the Iranian military can restore cohesion and authority in the coming months remains to be seen. What is clear is that the shockwaves from the June strikes continue to reverberate through the heart of the security establishment. The command void is not merely a temporary setback, but a test of the system's very ability to adapt and endure under pressure. How Tehran manages this ongoing crisis through new appointments, institutional reforms, or a recalibration of doctrine will go a long way in determining whether the Islamic Republic retains its vaunted reputation for resilience. For now, the once-feared IRGC is on the defensive, and its adversaries are watching closely, searching for signs of systemic weakness or the potential for further strikes.